What happened to Mother Talzin after the Clone Wars? While we know that Darth Sidious was one of the most feared Sith Lords in all of galactic history, there was one person in specific that challenged his power. The one person who could match his strength as a Force user, but instead, with magic. This person was no other than Mother Talzin, a Dathomirian shaman that was part of the clan mother of the Nighsisters. Although Sidious kept his identity hidden for many years, Talzin knew who he was well before the Clone Wars even began. It was Sidious who took Talzin's son, Darth Maul, to make him eventually become his very own Sith apprentice. This then led Sidious to learn of Talzin's one weakness, her own son. Towards the end of the Clone Wars, when Sidious killed Maul's brother Savage Opress in a deadly duel, he allows Maul to live and spares his life, but he tells Maul that he has bigger plans for him. These plans would be to use him as an attempt to bait Mother Talzin in. Sidious's goal was to try and defeat the only person that could challenge his power in the galaxy. Not the Jedi, not anybody else, but Mother Talzin. In the comic series Son of Dathomir, all of our answers are explained. We learn that Sidious and Dooku had kept Maul in prison and tortured him there so they could find the whereabouts of Mother Talzin. Regardless of how much pain he endured, Maul refused to answer where she was. He already lost his brother. He wasn't ready to lose his mother as well. Shortly after, an unexpected group of the Mandalorians stormed in to rescue Maul. Although they broke him free, Dooku would allow this to happen. He wanted Maul to escape in hopes that he would eventually go seek Mother Talzin, in which that would draw her out in the open. Unfortunately for Sidious and Dooku, Talzin was one step ahead of them. She foresaw their plan, and instead of going on with this, she told Maul not to retreat to her. This would then fall right into their hands. Instead, she would bring him reinforcements of Night Brothers to fight by his side on Ord Mantell City. Dooku, Grievous, and the Separatist forces arrived shortly after and prepared for a ground assault against Maul, the Night Brothers, and his Syndicate forces. Maul decided to bait them and was able to dock his fighter onto Grievous's ship, the Invisible Hand, the same ship that we saw in Revenge of the Sith. After boarding, he defeated Grievous, while the rest of his forces captured Dooku on the planet below. This leading to Maul having both of them captured. His plan really worked. After their capture, Maul began to show Sidious on a hologram what a failure his two generals were. To his surprise, Sidious told Maul to kill both of them, as he has no more use for them, which of course later on he planned on doing anyways in Revenge of the Sith. Maul ended the hologram and told everyone to leave the command bridge, except for Dooku. He told Dooku that he leaves him here with a chance to abandon Sidious and to join him. Very similar to how he did exactly with Ahsoka in the Siege of Mandalore later on. Maul then told him that Mother Talzin has true power and the three of their combined strength can overtake Sidious. He then called upon Talzin and she appeared right in front of Dooku's eyes, telling him that Sidious is deceiving him and that he's just a pawn for greater power, and that eventually he will be replaced, just as he did with Maul. And then out of nowhere she revealed a secret to Dooku, something that not many knew about. She told him that long ago Sidious came to her on Dathomir, and they exchanged secret wisdom, and they even mingled dark side abilities with Nightsister magic. She continued to say that Sidious promised her to make her his right hand, but instead, he stole her son. He stole Maul. Since that day, she's carried nothing but anger and hate towards him. Maul and Talzin left Dooku with one final chance here, to join them and to control the galaxy together. Before Dooku even had a chance to speak, they were then attacked surprisingly by the Jedi and Republic forces out of nowhere. The two teamed up together, and as they were leaving to escape, they were stormed in by multiple Jedi, including Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mace Windu, and Aayla Secura. The two were then able to escape with some help from the Mandalorians, and they planned to set course to Dathomir. But once they arrived, everything changed. Maul and Talzin were not planning on alliancing with Dooku, but their goal instead was to use him, to not only make him suffer for the crimes that him and Sidious have done against the Nightsisters, but also to restore Talzin's power. Years ago, after she sacrificed parts of herself to restore Maul, it led her to becoming weakened. To give you an idea, it was even difficult for her at times to be in the physical world, but with Dooku's flesh, this could restore her power once again. She then appeared out of nowhere and started to drain Dooku of all the energy he possessed. Her strength began to return. Out of nowhere though, Grievous had been tracking Dooku's signal this entire time, which led him to arriving on Dathomir shortly after. But Grievous wasn't alone. This time, he was with Darth Sidious. During the process of Dooku being drained of his energy, the two of them then appeared out of nowhere. Talzin quickly then took full control over Dooku and used him to fight against Sidious. Sidious quickly defeated the possessed Dooku, which led to Mother Talzin coming out of his body and was then in her full form. The two of them began to fight in an epic duel, both evenly matched using Force Lightning against one another. Dooku then woke up and began to aid Sidious with his Force Lightning as well. Maul also stepped in and tried to strengthen Talzin by absorbing his own energy so that she could win this battle. Talzin refused, however, and threw him all the way back to his ship. She did this to protect him, since the second she would lower her defenses, he would die. Because she used this quick second to throw him back, it sadly weakened her defenses, and out of nowhere, General Grievous appeared. He stared down Mother Talzin and used both of his lightsabers to stab her right in the chest. Maul screamed in horror as he watched the only person left that he cared for in this world die right in front of his eyes. He was then dragged to his ship by the Mandalorians and Sidious allowed him to escape, seeing as he was no threat to them. After this moment, the very one person that contested Sidious's power was dead. Personally, I thought this story was incredible, and I thought it was amazing to get more of a backstory to what actually happened between Season 6 and Season 7 of the Clone Wars. I also think it speaks a lot about Mother Talzin's character. I mean, this is somebody we've always seen as a villain throughout Star Wars, but yet she did everything she could to save her son in the end. It makes you wonder, what would have happened if she were still alive? I mean, would Sidious still have become the Emperor, or would have Talzin's presence prevent this? I mean, you have to understand, this is one of the only people Palpatine feared, so it really makes you think. I also think that if Talzin did wait on her chance to strike down on Palpatine, she probably would have had a higher chance. The reason I say this is because when Sidious rose to power as Emperor, it was only him and Vader. And in my opinion, Talzin would have defeated Vader instantly because the main flaw in his suit was Force Lightning. If you don't know, Palpatine did this in case Vader ever tried to overtake him, which of course he ended up doing. So with that said, as powerful as Vader is, her lightning would have killed Vader in seconds. But anyways, what did you think about this story? And do you think Talzin could have prevented Sidious from rising to power, or do you think otherwise? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching and may the Force be with you always.